Welcome back. I greet you. This is our second practice breakdown. And how do you feel? Did you had maybe some soreness in the muscles? Was it easy peasy for you and you're ready here on the next day? You can always reach out to me and let me know how this first session, this first encounter with power yoga felt like. I think it's really valuable to have these breakdown sessions because I can go really in depth and give you inside information, which in a regular yoga class you will not receive. Therefore, we have workshops. Yoga workshops are designed to give you really knowledge and tools and information which is really important. But in a standard class, we don't have the time to look so deeply into certain aspects. That's why this breakdown is like a workshop on power yoga, and especially for the ones who are starting on the journey of power yoga. So today, our second practice, I hope you feel confident and ready. The yoga mat, maybe you have the block with you. If you have a block, sit on the block. With sitting on the block, the idea here is that we place our sit bones on the block, and through this we are elevated. The hips are elevated and we can bring the knees lower than our hips. That's the idea. That not only feels really comfy, but it as well allows you to lift your spine naturally and to breathe and to center yourself into presence. If you don't have a block, of course, you can as well sit down like this, but you will experience after 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of doing breath work in this position, it really gets harder. You have always the tendency to round your spine slightly. So that's why a block to sit on, to elevate your hip, is an extremely potent thing to do, and I can recommend it to you. Because here, I can basically sit for an hour without any pain, without any discomfort, simply because my hip is elevated, my spine is naturally long, and my knees are lower than my hips. This is crucial. So we will start today in the seated posture actually. If you don't have a block, you can as well take a blanket and or a pillow and place yourself on that. And then position your hands to the knees and close your eyes for this very first encounter. I once again greet you, my friend, and I welcome you to the practice. This will be another shared journey to experience, to explore, and to fully tap into the spirit of practice. Take a deep breath in. Hold the breath at the top. And with the open mouth, exhale all the air out. Another deep breath in for 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath and focus. And another clearing breath. Exhale. Final one. Full breath in for 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. And with the open mouth, with force, exhale. Good. Open your eyes, bring the hands together, and we're gonna rub the palms, create some nice tension, friction, and heat. And then please place one hand to your chest, one to your core space, and another moment to close your eyes and to simply attune with this given moment and with what is alive inside right now. Beautiful. Open your eyes. Sometimes the teacher will welcome you to smile. This is not just because we are seekers of positivity and we believe in positivity, but simply because through smiling you will relax your face and your jaw muscles. Yeah, you cannot. I mean, you can smile like this, but it's really fake when you have this tension in your smile. So when we smile, we relax and we feel good, and this is crucial. Even especially in power yoga, we have a lot of engagement. We have a lot of intensity. We struggle. We challenge ourselves. We hold postures for a crazy amount of times in positions which are just oftentimes really, really challenging. And the thing is, the body, we want to challenge it, we want to engage, we want to use the muscles and to really oftentimes engage them. But the single place where we more or less never bring tension to is our face. We want to have relaxed jaw muscles, yeah? And when I teach, I see all the faces of my students, and the more intense the practice gets, the more tension they often accumulate in their face. For example, then we are in plank, and after 1 minute of plank, they're like this, or they try the handstand, and they're like unnecessary tension in the neck, the shoulder, and the face will not serve us to master the position, and it won't make it easier in the end of the day. That's why we want to cultivate a relaxed face. I call it the Zen face, where you maybe sweat, you're maybe struggling, but your face is just a reflection of ease, a reflection of Zen, and a very peaceful mind. And I'm here to remind you, because I know we have this is like more a flex, a reflex. We just do it naturally. But I'm here to tell you, recondition yourself, smile, relax your face, even in amidst the fire, let's say. Okay? So today we will start in the four-legged posture. So position yourself on the hands and the knees. This is a very common posture. And the first thing you want to do, you want to expand your fingers, all 5 fingertips, and be very strong and grounding them. A major beginner mistake is that we have this kind of hands, closed fingers and maybe even a little bit round, and there we do not really connect to the yoga mat. There we have no good grip, and as well with this, it brings more tension to our wrist when we have here less surface. That's why strong fingers, flat on the ground, and engage them. Then once this is accomplished, we're gonna round the spine a little bit. You draw the chin to the chest, and you simply lengthen the spine and look forward. With the exhale, you round. With the inhale, you lengthen. This is a very simple movement. We call it the cat-cow. But it's a beautiful way to tap into the practice and to synchronize the movement and the breath. So with the exhale, you round, and with the inhale, you lengthen. After a few times, when this feels good, you can bring a little bit tempo into the movement. That's totally fine here. So maybe you close your eyes, just focus the breath and the movement for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now prepare, look slightly forward and extend your right leg and your left arm forward. We bring it back and we switch left leg, right arm, forward and back. And keep going. While you do this, look more or less straight down. And we do this. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. One category of power yoga is rebound movements and rebound movement patterns. When we call them rebound and we call them fascia training because the fascia is a very elastic fabric and we can train it. So when we do these rebounds, we pull the fascia structure apart and naturally it goes together. That's the rebound. And we can include this principle of rebounds in a lot of different postures, in a lot of different ways. And we can become very creative with them. So a modern and very advanced practice always, in my opinion, incorporates those fascia movements because elasticity is a very important component of an athlete. So extend your right leg, extend your left arm, and now rebound up and down. Here we have the first sequence of rebounding. Let's go for 10. Remember, the right arm is strong. 8, 7, 6, look slightly forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Woo. Maybe you notice that this is quite intense, and it's good. Just maintain breathing, and then we already face the second side. Extend your left arm, right arm. Sometimes it's nice to put a thumb up, and then here we go. 1, we go for 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Now to deepen the understanding of this rebound, let's just bring in another one. So for this, get on your knees. You can untuck your toes and lean slightly forward. I showed this you how it looks from the side. The sit bones, they reach back, the navel in, you engage your pelvis floor. And now you open your arms like wings. Let's use the thumbs up. And we're going to rebound again. We target the chest and the arm fascia here. And then here we go for 10. And remember, those are small rebound movements. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and break. You can shake out the arms and shoulders. And as well with those rebound movements, there are some are very simple and some are more complex and challenging. The next one you will feel is an increase of intensity for sure, because we're going to extend the arms now straight forward. We lean forward and now we open the shoulder with rebounds. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and break. Woo! Shake it out. Okay, and then let's add another rebound before we start with the sun salutation. For this one, this is a bit more complex. We want to target the back side of our leg. There is a nice line, a fascia line all along the back side of our leg. It goes along the spine till our scalp. So we want to engage there, step with the right leg to the front, and now bring both of the hands to the hips. This we do so we have a reference of what is happening with the hips. Can we keep them parallel to the front? That's the idea. And now flex your feet and just rebound up and back, up and down. And we want to try to keep the leg very straight. Start easy going, and when you feel the movement, you can intensify the pace. Try to avoid what I see often. What happens is that we bring the rebound up and we lean forward with the upper body. That's not the idea. Chest out, front side focus, and a straight leg. Tap, tap, tap. Let's go. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. You feel it's the fascias, they stretch and they return, but as well, there are some muscles involved in this movement. So second side. Step, rebound up and back. Such a good training. And we go for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Sometimes when we practice intense or we do a specific exercise and we build a certain tension, it's always a possibility and a great idea to release the tension after again. So how do we do this in power yoga? There are 2 options. Either you shake it out, or I like even more to tap it out. So you just jump and release. And the beautiful thing with this jumping and tapping, there is a science behind that, is that a lot of the major muscles of our body are attached to the bones. So when we jump, we're gonna release the entire muscles. We shake all of them who are attached to our bones, and that gives us a great release. Nice. In traditional yoga, you will never ever find this, because we just don't shake out and jump out and release. But from the perspective of sports science and training science, it makes a lot of sense to give your muscles a nice shake and a nice release before you engage. I mean, just imagine you go climbing and you got a strong pump. You always shake out the muscles to refresh and to continue. And why should we not do this? And to be honest, when I really listen to my body, it feels very natural, even more as well like something the body wants to do. He wants to shake the tension out after he was training hard or like giving all. Beautiful. Now, let's bring it back to the front of the mat. You know already how to position your feet. Engage, chest up, navel in. Draw the shoulders back and relax your face. Close your eyes. Let this be a moment of awareness. And take a deep breath in. Hold it. And with the open mouth, sigh it out. Open your eyes. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Look up. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees when you fold. Long spine, look forward. And then here we go. We step to plank. And because we're already ready, knees down and lower down, 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 down. Oh, the blocks are in the way. All the way down. Elbows tight. Untuck, inhale, upward facing, and exhale, downward facing. We call, there is a certain frame, it's called walking your down dog, or walk your dog. This simply means that we spend a little time in our down dog and we pedal from side to side. And you will notice that you shift your hip from side to side, and it should feel really good. Stretching one hamstring after the other. Good, now bend both of your knees and lift with intention your sit bones towards the ceiling. Look forward, inhale, and with the exhale, 2 steps to the front. relax. Bend your knees, inhale, rise for mountain pose, arms overhead, and namaste. Remember, with the namaste posture, squeeze the palms to the middle line, lift the chest, relax your face. That's your Tadasana, mountain pose. Close your eyes, deep breath in. Open the mouth, exhale. Second round. Inhale, arms overhead. Now we do it a little bit different. I want that you bring the palms together and then we namaste and fold all the way to the ground. Long spine. And now simply step your left leg back, drop your left knee, untug your toes. Now it can happen that this is very uncomfortable for your knee. Option 1, you place a pillow or a blanket underneath. Option 2, you take the mat double. So it's a little bit more support. That's up to you. Or you say, no, that's okay for me. I'm fine. And then lift your upper body, bring the arms overhead. Remember, always when we bring the arms overhead, the palms are facing and the fingers are alive. That's how we do it. Now you bring them up. The shoulders, we reach them towards the ears. We lengthen up. And simultaneously, you shift the hip a little into the runner's lunge. Yes. And all this while you breathe deep and you keep a calm, soft face. Full breath in. And then tap the hands to the yoga mat and step downward dog. Now remember, as yesterday, we will practice our vinyasa. So you shift from down dog to plank. You can use the knees, or without the knees, you lower down all the way, upward facing and downward facing. Bend your knees, look to the front, 2 steps. Relax. Bend your knees, inhale, bring your arms overhead, and namaste. You accomplished 2 rounds of sun salutation. That is absolutely fantastic. In a class of power yoga or when you will practice for yourself, you might find that you can, once you're familiar with the rhythm of the sun salutation, you can speed it up. You can do it very quickly. This is the first thing. And the second thing is you can do hundreds of different of sun salutation variations. There's so many. You can be creative. It's unbelievable. Now let's do the second side. So now we had the left leg stepping back. Now let's step with the right leg back. And let's practice our alignment things again. And then in the fourth and final round, we'll just do another way of how to practice sun salutation. Inhale, arms up. Palms are touching. And we bow. Exhale. Long spine. And the right leg steps back. Untug your toe. And bring it up. Inhale, arms overhead. Meld your hip. Engage your legs. Relax your face. Full breath in. And downward facing dog. Inhale forward for plank pose. Hold your plank, shift a little forward, lower down, all the way. Untug your toes, upward facing and downward facing. Good. Bring your knees for a moment down. As I said, we have hundreds of different styles of doing sun salutation. If you ask a very traditional yoga teacher who is committed to a certain lineage, he will say there are only 3 or 4 types of sun salutation, and those are the only ones who are right. In the open source approach to yoga, this could not be further from the truth. Because in sun salutation, we have a ground pattern which we follow, but then we can incorporate hundreds of thousands of different variations and movements, simply bringing it into this pattern. And let's play with it. For me, this is why power yoga is so profoundly different and why it is so impactful, because we can be very creative and we can really go with what serves us. Now, for example, as a legit sun salutation, we inhale, bring the arms up. And now I want that you bring the right arm forward, the left arm back, and you get a twist in your standing posture. How nice. Inhale, look to the ceiling, draw the navel in, lengthen up, and twist, second side. In a traditional yoga practice, you will never find this. Inhale, arms overhead. Now chin to the chest, lift your heels. We're going to balance on our toes. For 3, 2, 1, and center. Beautiful. Now inhale for chair pose. We've been not doing chair pose so far, but it's one of the essentials. Chair pose, forward fold, exhale. Long spine, inhale. And plank, vinyasa. Upward and downward. Bend your knees. Now try the following. This is a challenging one. Bend your knees, look forward, and now we jump all the way to the front. Back to chair pose with the inhale. And namaste, exhale. So congratulations to the 4th round of sun salutation. As you know, there were suddenly new elements, something really exciting in my opinion. And yeah, this is one major difference of power yoga. It's open source and you can be creative and you can play around and use just the basic patterns where you can build on. So now we continue. We have a flow to master. So we did the sun salutations. We did already the warm up. Now usually comes 1-2 sequences which are more complex and which integrate some peak postures. For this, just bring yourself to your down dog position and start to lift your right leg up with the inhale. Look to the front, step between the hands. If it's not possible, remember, drag your leg to the front. We always help ourselves. Prepare, and then we rise for high lunge. A new warrior posture is coming our way. Center the hands. And now we're going to lean forward. Lean, lean, lean. Shift your weight. And then here we go. Warrior 3. One major thing you need to know here, it's okay if you keep your knee a little bit bent. Another nice thing you can do is bring your hands to your hip and just check that they're not open. We want to keep them parallel to the ground. And then when this is accomplished, center the hands and squeeze the hands. Now we have a balancing posture. Try to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and forward fold, exhale. Now this is a standing split posture where the upper body bows and we try to lift the left leg towards the ceiling. Lower down, step it back, chair pose. Step kind of towards the middle of the yoga mat. And exhale, the final one. We are grounding the hands and we're preparing for our first arm balance, crow. So the knee, we want to place it over our elbow, on top of the elbow. That's where we place it. And that's the only thing we do for the first stage. Place it there, bring it back. Chair pose. And from chair pose, hands down, place the knee over the elbow and return. Chair pose. And place the hands, the knee on top of the elbow, return. Chair pose, good. And then finally, step back, plank, vinyasa. Downward dog. Well done. Knees down to the yoga mat. As you noticed, this was pretty complex and pretty intense already. So it's a completely different level than sun salutation. When we hold the posture suddenly, we have to balance, and then from a balanced posture in a standing split, from a standing split to chair pose, transitioning into an arm balance, crow, Bakasana. So it's not only about endurance, but it's a lot of complexity in one sequence, and you want to keep smiling and feel relaxed all the time. Or not relaxed, but you want to embody this sense of ease, this effortless movement, these graceful transitions. Of course, this cannot be reached overnight. This is years of dedicated practice. But we already want to have the frame under which we practice. We already want to have the right intentions. So now let's break only this sequence down. There are two things you really need to understand. For Warrior 3, which is one of the peak postures here, we can help ourselves. Therefore, you can now take the blocks. I want to show you. With the blocks, we can have a great support. So place the right leg to the front, and now we're going to shift into, and we support ourselves with the hands on the block. Now look how beautifully we can focus on the hip and the alignment. And when this feels ready, you're going to straighten the right arm forward and hold and breathe. And then slowly out. This would be the very first level of Warrior 3. So you got the support. I was like now pushing you a little bit into the cold water and just challenging your body, which is fine. Sometimes it's great to do it and to see if you're capable. But now when it was like when you struggled a lot, use the blocks, because this helps us to get the nice alignment, because the biggest mistake here, I always put it like this, mistake is here that we open up the hip and we collapse down, like something like this or like this, but we need to keep the hip parallel, and we need to engage the back muscles and center the hands, and then here is where the balancing happens, okay? Then standing split. It's just a question of practice to get deep into it. Then we have our chair pose. It's one of the major postures to strengthen the legs. And from chair pose, the transition to Bakasana is probably the most challenging moment of this sequence. And in stage 1 of Bakasana, we keep the toes on the ground. The fingers are wide, they're strong, but the toes remain on the ground, and we just find the sweet spot on top of our elbows where we can place the knee, and we distribute a little bit of weight, just like this. This is the first stage of our arm balance. Once you feel confident with doing this, you're going to lift one leg. Bring it down and lift the other leg. And bring it down. And you do this a couple times. And remember, these are intense moments of practice, so we don't want to overdo it. We get out of the crow pose, we shake the hands, the wrist, we do the wave. Another thing I truly like is just to open and close the wrist, the fist. This brings a fresh pump into the forearm, feels really good. And then, of course, we do it again. Maybe now second stage. That means we're going to place the hands, we're going to place the knee on top of the elbow, and we shift a little bit and come back. We shift a little bit and come back. Shift forward and come back. That is second stage. Yeah? So you play with this transition into the arm balance, but you return pretty quickly, and you repeat this a few times. And only when you can truly accomplish and own this transition, then we are looking to hold the posture for longer. So, and I encourage you, imagine that there is a triangle. Both hands are the base of the triangle, and then at the top there is a peak, and you focus at the peak of the triangle. Place the elbows, the knee on top of the elbow, shift the weight, focus, 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 and here you go. You balance and you breathe. This is your crow bakasana. And then from crow, we can step back, plank, and vinyasa. So please, we talked about the principles of power yoga, and one is variation and intuition. So we have those variations, please use them. Even the yoga teacher tells you, okay, now bakasana, do variation number 1. You just try to balance, you try to find the sweet spot on the elbow where you place the knee, and you do not rush it. You don't need to go to second or third stage. If you rush it, what happens is that you get very insecure. This means you can completely collapse, or it can create pain. And then you will lose the fun and the excitement for those nice arm balancing postures. Okay? So let's do the entire sequence on the second side. Back to our down dog foundation. Inhale, lift the left leg, look to the front, step between the hands. Prepare. High lunge. Center the hand, lean forward, shift your weight, warrior 3. Option 1, you got the blocks again. Option 2, just center the hands. And let's do this because it's really powerful. Bring the hands to the hip and just make sure they are parallel to the ground. You can always keep your knee a little bit bent. Center the hands, squeeze the palms, look a little forward for 5. Breathe, 4, 3, 2, good. And then exhale. We go a little into the standing split. Sometimes you can grab with your left hand, in this case, the ankle, and pull yourself a little deeper. That's totally fine. And then from the depth of standing split, reposition in the middle of the yoga mat for chair pose. And then here we go, hands down. Option 1, just lean forward. Option 2, play to lift one leg at the time. Option 3, balance and maybe hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Now you can step, or if you can, jump all the way back. Upward facing and downward facing. Beautiful. So you accomplished now 2 rounds of our sequence. Now we want to rest a little bit, and therefore today we are using the blocks. So position them at the front, shoulder wide apart, and then tap the hands, the knees wide apart, and then drop the forehead to the ground. This is one of the most powerful resting postures in our practice. If you don't have blocks, simply do it without. Take another deep breath in. Open up the mouth and exhale. Well done. Return. Blocks to the side. If you want, you drink something. And then we continue with the second sequence. With the second sequence, we will have 2 peak postures, like before, and I will navigate you through. Remember, this is a lot of information, so if you feel like overloaded, don't worry, take a break, maybe return tomorrow. As I said in the beginning, power yoga is nothing we want to rush through, nothing where we want to feel like we have to do it now. Yeah, we leave this behind and we say this is a fun journey, this is an exciting journey that contributes for a lifetime to connect with ourselves, to illuminate mind, body, to create a positive force, and to amplify the experience of joy, of health, of freedom for a lifetime. So if you feel overwhelmed, take a break and return. Everything falls into place when you commit to little steps of progress. But when you're ready for the second flow, let's join. Most of the flow sequences, they start in downward facing dog. That's, you can say it's our anchoring posture, our grounding home base. Good. From here, open up the right leg, open up the hip space and bend your right knee. So first time we're doing this. That's an essential one. It's a hip opener in our down dog. I like to refer to this as scorpion down dog. Good. Bring your knees down, take a moment. You need to understand that scorpion down dog is fundamentally different than when we just lift the leg. Because when I lift the leg only, I keep it first straight, and second, I keep my hip parallel. I will demonstrate you now. So this, inhale, left leg, point my toe, I look forward. And now, scorpion down dog, I bend my knee, I open up the hip, and I have a nice hip opener and a really solid stretch in the side body. So it's different and both are great. So usually in the yoga practice we start with the hip is closed and we just straighten the left leg, and then in the second or third round we open up the hip. Another nice variation in power yoga, I want to already share with you is that we inhale with the left leg, point the toe, and we draw the left knee to the elbow, pushing the ground. And then inhale, we open the hip space, we bend the knee. And exhale, we step forward. Boom. This is a very classic power yoga pattern. And you will experience and notice that there are a lot of those very ground patterns and common patterns in a open source yoga practice, because they just make sense, and they all of them trigger different aspects of the body. So let's just practice it together. Down dog. Let's do the full sequence because we are already talking about it. Right leg up, hip square, straight leg, look forward. Now draw the right knee to the right elbow and push into the ground because it's plank. Now open the hip, the scorpion, down dog. Feel the stretch and look forward, step between your hands. Yes. Now, oftentimes when we go up here into warrior 2 or reverse warrior, we already draw the left heel down while we are in our sprinter pose. So this is our preparation moment. And then with great readiness, we elevate, reverse warrior, side body stretch, reverse, 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 and then we shift forward for half moon pose. Half moon pose is one of those tricky peak postures, another balancing posture with an open hip. I encourage you, if you have a block, use your block first, place it there. So we have reverse warrior. Now we shift forward, we tap the hand to the block. We position it underneath our shoulders, more or less. The left hand to the hip. It's an open hip, and I look down. And when I feel I got my alignment and my balance, then I straighten the left leg. Now I feel very solid. I can look to the side. I can smile. And just make sure you lift this left leg. There is engagement, and I flex my feet. I don't know if you can see this, but I flex. And then the left arm is straight to the ceiling. Yes, and then slow. Remember the art of slowness. We bring it back. Reverse warrior. And second peak posture is side plank. So the left hand, we bring it down to the ground. Strong 5 fingers, push into the ground, strong shoulder, push. And then the right leg steps over the left. Side plank. In Sanskrit, Vashisthasana. Very, very potent peak posture. And then we hold. And the major danger here is that we drop with the hip, that we lose the stability. Try to lift the hip and push the ground for 3, 2, 1. Back to plank. And from plank, as always, we lower down. We lift and we push down for down dog. Good. Another very complex and challenging sequence you mastered here. If you don't have a block, or if you want to learn without the block, then I really encourage you, because the block is just there for the beginning stage. We want to quickly evolve so we can do the posture with great alignment and without a block. We don't want to rely. I see too many of my students who believe that they always need a block. And that is a very limited factor, because first, you not only have always a block ready, and second, it makes the posture way easier. But we want to gradually increase our practice. So we need to transcend the block and do it without. So let's do it. We will just break down this little sequence. So you're here, you have a wide stand. Of course, your heels are in full alignment. And you got the reverse warrior posture. Very nice. And now you shift forward, lean forward, get the fingers to the ground, and float. Left leg up, fingers down, half moon pose. I still got a nice support with my hands here. Balancing, balancing, balancing. And then we go back very slow, reverse warrior. And we tap the left hand to the ground, the right leg on top of the left. Side plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and vinyasa. Upward and downward. Yes. Fabulous. With side plank, of course, I was not fully fair with you. This is the full version of side plank. If you feel this is overwhelming, this is too much, I give you the level 1. The level 1 of side plank is that you do not stack the feet on top, but you keep them next to each other. This already decreases the intensity drastically. Yeah, try it out. So that would mean if you come down, the left hand comes to the ground. I don't stack it on top like this, but I stack them next to each other. And I can already feel, oh, what a relief. And from here, plank vinyasa. Once again, the vinyasa is something yogis and students tend to get very sloppy. I see it day in and day out. They just do it out of a habit, and that can be dangerous. Of course, it's understandable. We do it so often, so it becomes a habit. But we always want to cultivate the beginner's mind, like the Buddhists, and check, is this what we're doing still really on point? Am I really present while I'm practicing? And with the chaturanga, the biggest mistake is that people, they are here and they collapse with their hip and then the body follows because they're lazy or they're not strong enough yet. So I want, once again, remind you, when you're in your plank, push into the ground, lower the knees, sit bones out, and the chest first. The chest always lowers first, okay? Very important. And another really a helpful insight is when you lower, lean forward. Lean into it and then lower, rather than lowering here. I'll show you once again, very drastically. You're in your plank. Now in plank, I shift forward, and while I shift forward, I lower down. Then up and back. So you can do it with knees or you can do it without the knees, but always make sure you got the alignment and you got the correct form. This is very important. That just maintains the quality of your practice. Perfect. Shake out the wrist, the shoulders, and then we go with the second side. I turn myself. So we are in down dog. We have the left leg reaches up, and now the left knee to the elbow. Bring it back up, open the hip space, bend your knee, and exhale all the way to the front. Boom. Well done. Prepare. In this case, it means the right heel down. And now we spiral to reverse warrior. And then, if you want, use the block. If you feel confident, do it without the block. Hands forward, shifting the weight, warrior 3. And because this is a peak posture, we hold it a little bit. We enjoy, we check, okay, how is the balance today? I can take my hip and just feel, okay, what's going on with my hip here? Then, I usually always look down. It gives me a reference. But maybe if you feel confident, you want to look up. Good. And now, very important, slow, 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 slow. Step back, reverse warrior, inhale. And a second peak posture, the right hand taps to the ground. Option 1, feet next to each other, side plank, or feet on top of each for side plank posture. 5, 4, lift the hip, push the ground. 3, 2, 1. And now lean forward, maybe use the knees, lower down, upward facing, and downward facing. So good. This is all the breakdown. I would wish that someone would take me on the hand and, talk me and guide me along really step by step. Yes, it's a lot of information, maybe it's overwhelming, but you will have the right frames and tools to really kickstart your practice and to level up in a professional way. So we're moving on from the flow sequences to the drills, to the really challenging part, the intense part, where we do asana-based strength training. So we use yoga postures or yoga patterns to really target some major muscle groups and to squeeze them. Welcome to the strength drills. As practitioners of power yoga, we are, of course, committed to progress. And one principle of progress is repetition. To do reps. And in most styles of yoga, Vinyasa flow or Ashtanga, Hatha yoga, we don't work with these principles of reps, which is, in my opinion, a shame, and they're missing out in big ways. But we have open source power yoga, and therefore we're gonna do reps. And when we do reps, we imitate yoga patterns. We start with the first one. It's down dog to chaturanga, and chaturanga back to down dog. So it's a very straightforward movement pattern. In your down dog, you shift forward with the inhale. You lean into chaturanga halfway, and you press back. Exhale. That was one rep. Continue. Inhale forward halfway, and exhale back downward dog. Now, if you don't have the strength yet, what are you going to do? Of course, you're gonna use your knees. Easy like that. We do not compromise here. Inhale forward to plank, knees down. You can cross the ankles, lean forward halfway, and press back downward dog. Then this is the way to go. Now let's do a couple of them. Inhale, exhale. 1, we go for 5. Inhale, exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Last one. Exhale. 5. Yes, as you remember, shake the wrists, shake the forearms. Now, this was a dynamic approach, so we lean forward and we push back. Now, but as well, we have static. And Hatha yoga is all about static postures. We hold and breathe. So we will do this. We're going to lean now forward into chaturanga, halfway. We lower down, we squeeze the elbows to the upper body, and we're going to hold. I will count quickly. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then push back down. Okay, that's the finisher. Let's go. Inhale, Chaturanga, keep breathing, squeeze the elbows, navel in, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push back, exhale. Yeah, good. I hope you used your 10 fingers, yeah? Make sure they're very strong. Everything in power yoga adds up, and in the end, you need to bring together all the elements, all the knowledge, all the alignment cues to create this harmonious, powerful practice. But it comes over time, and I'm here to remind you. Good. Shake it out. Now, from here, we move on to the core, and we will do leg raises. You can take a block. If you feel the block is too much for you right now, then do it without. Hands underneath the sacrum. You're gonna point your feet, and then with the inhale we lower, with the exhale we return. Leg raises. So the thing is, I want that you look to the front so you see what you're doing, rather than keeping the head on the ground, okay? Inhale, lower, tension, focus the core, exhale back. Inhale, slow, exhale back. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and then last one, we do it lower and hold and breathe. Lift your upper body a little bit, squeeze the core, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back. Knees to your chest, hug them in. Now we can relax a little bit with swaying left and right and left. This gives you really a moment. And then we do it again. First, return to seated posture. You can already notice that through doing one cycle and a second and maybe a third cycle, what an impact we create. You will never ever have this kind of impact in a traditional yoga practice. This is why we believe so much in progress and evolution. We believe in the evolution of your personal practice, but as well as power yoga practitioners, we believe in the evolution of the practice itself. So power yoga needs to evolve, and we always want to know what is the best thing we can do for our body to amplify the effect of power yoga. And this is my biggest critic on the traditional based systems, because they are written hundreds of years ago and they cannot change anymore because it's a tradition and you have to obey to the tradition you signed up for. And if you feel happy with this, of course, but me not. Yeah, I want to have an open source practice which is evolving, where I can be inspired again and again and again, and I can reinvent my practice because I get inspired from another teacher and he shows me something and I say, that's amazing, I need to do it. And that's how I believe in a personal practice, but as well in general, how yoga needs to be an evolutionary process. Now, if you want, we go a second stage. Second stage in this leg raising exercise could mean that you grab a block and you squeeze it. Or a second stage could mean that you no longer bring the hands underneath, but now you cross them behind your head. It's way more intense. Let's go. Inhale and exhale. Squeeze the block with the inhale, lower, exhale, lift. We go for another 5. 4, 3. Remember, we do it slow and steady. 2. 1. And then the last one, we're going to lower and we're going to hold. If you have the strength, extend your arms overhead. Look to the ceiling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Smile. Relax your face. 4, 3, 2, 1. And knees to the chest. Relax. A great counter position. Tap the feet. Lift the hips. Lift your arms. Now you're going to stretch the front body, and it feels really good. Full breath in, and then open the mouth, exhale. Knees down to the ground, roll to a seated posture. Well done. Now the final drill, the final focal point for this strengths-based chapter is our inversion. Inversions are one of my favorite asanas groups. They challenge us a lot, and they have as well a lot of benefits. So today we will bring the forearms to the ground, and we center the hands. Forearms to the ground, center the hands, and now most important, engage your shoulders, push and lift the sit bones. That's your starting point. Now from here, you're gonna lift your left leg, like yesterday in our handstand, and we're gonna do little jumps. Little, very precise jumps. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and take a break. Take a moment. The blood needs to go down back into your body. And with these little jumps, as yesterday, you already know how we want to do it. Now we are just on the forearms. And the major danger is here that we do not look to the front and we lose the focus to the front. And I show you now what the danger is. The danger is we lose the focus and we just let the head hang here, and this is where we have no longer any orientation. It feels natural because here we do have to make an extra effort. So lots of beginner students look down and then they go up and they lose very easily. They lose orientation, and that often leads into a complete collapse, and they fall left or right, or the worst case, they fall overhead on the next yogi, and it's a big disaster in the yogashala. And as a teacher, but as well as a practitioner, you want to avoid this under any circumstances that this happened. It's not good for you, and it's not good for the space. Of course, when you're at home alone and you do it against the wall, this is a different story. But even you have a wall, I encourage you slow, steady jumps. Maintain control. Second side. So, one more time. Lift your leg, look to the front, and little jumps. 1, we go for 8. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep breathing. 6, 7, 8. Yes. Take a moment. This could mean child's pose, or you drink something and you sit. Fabulous. Really excellent. Now, a final round, second level. So you maybe want to challenge yourself, optional. We're gonna position ourselves, a strong foundation, strong shoulders, like we push the forearms into the ground. That creates a solid structure in the shoulders. And then we're gonna jump and we try to switch the legs and switch and switch. And keep your legs straight. That's important here. So jump and switch, very fast. Jump and switch. Jump, switch. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yes. Well done. The primal focus when we practice inversions is going up, going upside down. But what most beginner practitioners miss is that going up is just half the story. How you're landing and how you return is equally important. And that's as well where a lot of damage and a lot of grace suddenly disappears to practice. So basically what I'm referring to, I'm going to show you, I'm going to demonstrate what I see too often. They focus on the way up and then they, boom, crash down. Boom. I'm sure you can see the lift and completely, boom. This is a very solid floor, but if you have a wooden floor, as in yoga studios, this creates a tremendous amount of noise. And we want to avoid this. And how do we avoid this? Think about a puma landing in the jungle, very soft. Yeah, it's a very soft landing. It's a fascia. You're landing, but your ankles and the fascia system abfedern, yeah, it takes out the pressure and you have almost no noise while you're landing. Well done, congratulations. Let's move on. We're gonna have now, after the strengths-based sequences and movement patterns, we're gonna now slow down with 2 stretches. One, we will target now the hip. So I want that you step with your left leg beyond the yoga mat towards 11 o'clock and you untuck your right toe. And option 1 is you stay here and breathe. Sometimes it can happen that it feels very painful for the hip. It feels very tight for the hip. Then you can shift a little bit back and bring yourself into it again. And then try to relax your hips and, if you want, even close your eyes. If you want to go a little deeper, try to bring your forearms to the ground. But just if it feels good. Another deep breath in. Open your mouth and exhale. Well done. Return. Bring it back. And then we shift to the second side. I want that you step beyond the yoga mat. Untug your left toe. The toes of the right feet pointing towards 1 o'clock. And then maybe like before, you shift a couple times forward and back. Then park your hip here. Maybe close your eyes and breathe. If you want, you go 1 layer deeper to the forearms. Another deep breath in. And open mouth, exhale. Excellent. Return. Step forward, seated posture. And now we will do a second stretch. I want that you straighten the right leg and you draw in the left feet. Both of your sit bones are grounding. And now remember what we talked yesterday. We do not squeeze or push into the stretch, but we just go with gravity and we relax over the right leg. Maybe you cannot go very deep, but that's okay. We have a very caring approach here because overstretching creates a lot of damage in your body. And a majority of the yoga injuries come from overstretching, believe it or not. Because they're like pulling themselves into the stretch and they damage the muscles. They damage the tissue and the fascia, and sometimes they even damage the nerve system. And we don't need that. We can enjoy a sweet stretch and feel really happy here. Let your head be heavy. And then return. Bring it up. Usually after a deep forward fold, your nerve system calms down and you feel already in a different hemisphere. Now we switch position. Don't worry about flexing or pointing, just loose up, ground with the sit bones and relax. I encourage you to close your eyes. Another full breath in. Open the mouth, exhale. Good. Return. And now both knees together. And we will get to our spine and we bring the knees now to the left side. And we open up the right arm to the right. And all you need to do is now to relax and to surrender to gravity. Focus again on deep breathing. Relax your face. Full breath in. Open your mouth and exhale. Well done. And then here we go. We switch. Second side. And don't worry how much you twist here. This is all about letting go and giving our body already time to restore. For me, this is a restoring posture. If it feels uncomfortable in a moment, then you can always reposition yourself. and find what is serving you. Deep breath in. Open the mouth, exhale. Return to your spine. Now I will show you a yoga hack. Extend your legs, extend your arms, and shake them out. Shake, 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 shake. All the way. And then here we go. Once again, we will fall into Shavasana, our deep, relaxing posture. If you need any preparation, then you can simply cover yourself, put on some socks, or drink something. But most important here, close your eyes and let go. Give your body the time to rest, the time to restore, and to fully integrate the practice. Now take a deep breath in again and move your toes and fingers. Stretch your arms overhead. Hug your knees to the chest. And when you are ready, return back to the seated posture. If you want, you can once again sit on the block or a blanket. And then we elevate our spine. We are going to close the practice with a short breathing sequence. For this, close your eyes, let your chin naturally fall to your chest. Exhale the air. And then deep breath in for 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. And the open mouth to exhale. Clear it out. Another deep breath in. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. And open mouth, exhale. A final one, full breath in for 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. And exhale. Good. We're gonna close the mantra. Extremely powerful. Smile, reach with your arms overhead, create a fist, and yes! This was truly an accomplishment. I once again want to underline and address how proud I am that you made it to the end. There is so much information, it's completely overwhelming, but you stick to it, and believe me, this is just the beginning. We're gonna set everything, we're gonna modify everything. You get all the tools, all the knowledge to, put your ship and your sail on so the wind can bring you south and keep you on track for a lasting, a lifelong journey that is so powerful and transformative. And in my experience, power yoga, of course, is just one aspect of a potent life, of a powerful life. We all are in this situation. We need to claim back the power. We need to we are an independent source of joy, of love, of freedom and purpose. And yoga is one of the tools, one of the core routines that provide us with this enormous positive energy. And yeah, this is the closing of the second breakdown, Power Yoga breakdown. We covered a lot. And in our next class, I will just simply bring you along. We will practice together. We will play with what we already learned. There will be less talking, but much more doing, different and tempos, different sequences. So I'm basically looking forward to have this shared power yoga as our final module. Looking forward. Take now some rest, drink something, remember the proteins, and then see you in the next one.